Hello and thank you for joining me on the Random Access Show today. My name is Leon Panopoulos and today we will be talking about all the latest releases we saw at Apple's Wwdc conference in Apple Park, Cupertino. Join me for all the releases and all the tech news, so sit tight and enjoy. You're tuned in to the Random Access Show. Thanks for joining me today on the Random Access Show. It has been a big week for me. Moved houses. So sorry about last week not having an episode, just very hectic week. And but now we're all settled in here for now. And of course yesterday my laptop had to break because, well, it just did that. So I have to call Asus tech support tomorrow. Hopefully I can get that fixed. I have warranty, of course. So that's just great. I'm actually recording on my phone right now with my Apple earpods, not AirPods. You know me, I hate wireless earphones. I'm recording with my Apple earpods. And it actually sounds a lot better than recording with my Razer headphones. But yeah, let's see how it goes. So obviously this week was Apple's WWDC conference, which is the Worldwide Developer Conference, and it's an annual conference that they hold it's primarily aimed at developers, though that's not really a rule that they follow tightly. It's a very loose saying. And yeah, we got a lot of cool releases from it. For example, we got releases of iOS 16, we got releases of a new Apple Pay Later system, and the M2 chips. So there are a few releases to go through today, and that's what I'm here to do. So let's get into it. To start off, iOS 16, we got some new information on that. We knew it was coming, obviously, but so now we know a lot more about it. So what we do know is that it's the next big version of the iOS operating system, which runs on all Apple's iPhones. And the biggest thing that we've seen here is lock screen improvements. So Apple has revamped the lock screen largely and improved it. You can now, with one tap and hold, you can change the color, change the theme, and change the font as well, which is really cool. So yeah, Android users might be looking for, to buy an iPhone, but they just don't want iOS. That could be a very big feature. So being able to tap on your iPhone, hold it, and then all of a sudden you can change a plethora of settings just from right there on your lock screen. Change the color, change, how it looks, all that sort of stuff, which is really different from what we've seen in iOS previously. Obviously now, in iOS you can't really do anything on the lock screen. You have your notifications and that's basically it. You get the time. I mean, wow, that's beautiful. But no, we want more, and Apple's given us more. It's the biggest change to the lock screen they've made today, I'd say. Personally, that's what I think. And that's what a lot of people think. A lot of people love it on the internet. But that's not the only thing you can do. You can access live scores and updates as well. So if you're a sports fan, you want to keep unlocking your phone, going to the ESPN app or NBA app or whatever app you use to find your scores, you can literally have them right there along the bottom of your screen and be able to access who won the hockey game or who won the basketball game or what is the score right now. So that's really cool. I mean, I know I would probably use that a bit. I do like keeping track of the basketball scores every now and then, and being able to have it there, and it gets me more into the game instead of having to look it up every time. So that's actually pretty cool. Live scores, news, updates as well. So that is really exciting, especially if you're a sports fan, which I know a lot of people are, obviously. Right now, in Australia, there's the state of origin, so that would be great, being able to unlock your phone and say, "Ooh, Blues are winning, yes," or "Ooh, Maroons are winning, no." You know, so that's really exciting. And I'm actually really intrigued in what this means for the lock screen in the future as well, because we all know that this is not where it's going to stop. It means that it's going to gradually improve as well. Um, who knows? iOS 17 could bring some more interesting stuff to the lock screen. We honestly don't know at this point, but my guess is that it will. And I'm really excited about what it could bring. But right now, let's focus on the present, which is not even the present, it's the future still. But yeah, iOS 16 is going to bring access to live scores and updates. You'll also be able to have widgets on your iPhone or on your lock screen, meaning by pressing the home button on your iPhone, you'll be able to see the lock screen. You'll be able to see the temperature, the weather, live basketball scores, change the font, absolutely everything. I mean, it's like you don't want to leave your lock screen, do you? You can have a beautiful picture as your wallpaper, your score, your weather, and that's it. You don't need to leave the lock screen. You even have your time there, of course. That's the biggest thing. So, yeah, that's pretty interesting. I mean, already now, if you swipe on your lock screen, you can access the news and stuff. So that's really cool. But then they're improving that right now, which is a big feature, of course, especially for those who spend a lot of time, on their lock screen, just leaving their phone there as a time or a clock thing, and then you can, see other stuff as well. I have a friend who actually has a old Chromebook, and he just uses that as a clock. Yeah, that's his clock. He puts it right next to his normal laptop, and all it is the time. So he can use an iPhone now. But my favorite feature of all, getting out of lock screen improvements now, my favorite feature is the ability to unsend and edit messages. I have been wanting that feature for so long. When you accidentally send a message to the wrong person, or you spell something incorrectly and you really want to go and do a spelling correction on that, that is really annoying when you can't, go and edit it or undo the send. Or when, sometimes you just didn't mean to send it, you don't want to send it anymore. So users will have that ability for a certain amount of time after they've sent the message. It is for iMessage though, not for SMS message as far as I know. So that's, if you're texting an Android mate, maybe just keep that in mind. You can't undo the send. What I think that will do though is, as well, it will make people a bit more blasé, a bit lazier about when they're writing their thing. Oh, well, I can, always undo the send anyway, so I'm just going to type whatever. I think it might be a thing, but, it's a really handy feature to have, really cool feature to have. Now, all these new iOS features, you must be wondering, well, when can I get them? We're thinking around September, October, that's the big dates, but that's not 100% confirmed. But the thing is, will your phone be compatible? Well, it's time that Apple drops the iPhone 6, 6S and 7, because now it's only for iPhone 8 and above. That's right, if you want to get iOS 16, you must have an iPhone 8 or above. So I just made the cut, luckily. I'm actually recording on my iPhone 8. So yeah, but this could be the last major update for me personally anyway. So that's one thing you need to keep in mind. You must have an iPhone 8 or above, which a lot of people will be angry at. I know a few people who have iPhone 6s. I know a few people who have iPhone 6s. I know a guy who has an iPhone 4s. But that's another story. He probably stopped getting updates quite a while ago now. So yeah, iOS 16 only for iPhone 8 or later. So iPhone 8, iPhone X, iPhone XR, iPhone 11, iPhone 12, iPhone 13, and the upcoming iPhone 14 as well. So that's set to come out around the same time that iOS 16 does, so that the iPhone 14 can come out with iOS 16, which will be really cool. Next release that we saw was Apple Pay Later. Seems like everyone's getting into the buy now, pay later thing, and Apple is no different. They revealed a new buy now, pay later service called Apple Pay Later. How clever, how creative. Their marketing team over there is really good, iOS 16, the iPhone 8, the iPhone 14 Pro. Everything's so creative over there, isn't it? What is creative, actually? I actually quite like the macOS names, but everything else really is not very interesting, very creative. But yeah, they're releasing a buy now, pay later system, and it seems like they're turning into more and more of a bank. They're just releasing so many payment options, Apple Pay, they got wallet improvements in iOS 16, making it easier to do all of that sort of stuff. And now with their buy now, pay later, that's a bit different. Finally though, the big thing as well, M2 chips. So we've all been talking about M2 chips, and MacBooks have, what are the MacBooks going to be like with the M2 chips? Well, we finally know. The M2 chip will have 8 cores and 10 GPU cores. So, that's a lot. I mean, my laptop that died has 8 cores. It is a Ryzen 7 5700U. So, I would have thought a bit higher, but, considering it's on ARM, that's alright, I guess. 10 GPU cores, okay. M1 Max has 32 GPU cores, so, I'm a bit underwhelmed there. It is based on still 5nm, and it has 20 billion transistors compared to the 16 billion in the original M1. It will have 18% greater multi-threaded performance over the M1 chip, which is a big amount, and also 35% greater peak GPU performance, according to Apple. So, it's going to be, reasonably better. To me, it wouldn't be a reason to switch to Mac. I have never been a MacBook person. No, not really. I haven't been a MacBook person. And this doesn't really give me a reason to switch to a Mac. I'm really disappointed. I'm really underwhelmed. I think a lot of people on the internet are. They're just, we expected more from it. And we got what we got. So, it's not the best specs that I've ever seen. 8 cores, 10 GPU cores, 5nm. But if it's got 18% greater multi-threaded performance and 35% greater peak GPU performance, maybe it's alright, but for now, that wouldn't be any reason for me to make the switch to Mac. It's just really disappointing, and it's a boring spec sheet. Maybe we expected, 50 cores and 50 GPU cores, but I'm just, compared to the M1 Max, seems like nothing to me. I would go with an M1 Max MacBook. But, personal opinion, everyone's going to have that, and I respect yours. So, but a lot of people on the internet are a bit disappointed about that. But, it's newer silicon. There will be new improvements. Stability improvements will be a big thing. hopefully compatibility improvements, more apps will, as the next generation comes out, more apps will start supporting Apple Silicon. But yeah, that's really I don't have much to say about them because there's not much to say anyway. Now it's time for the quick stuff though, and this stuff is actually really interesting today. The first thing on my list is Microsoft accidentally allowed anybody to upgrade to Windows 11. For a short moment of time in the Insiders dev channel, insiders with any Windows 10 PC could upgrade to Windows 11, thanks to a bug in the release. So that was, I guess if you're an insider and you really want to switch to Windows 11, that was probably your chance. But I'm really surprised that this happened, and I think Microsoft would have been very angry about that. As you know, they've been very tight with their spec sheet. You have to have TPM 2.0. You have to have this CPU. You have to have this. You have to have that. And then they released this Windows Insider update that says you can upgrade at, if you have a no TPM. So, but it was a bug. They confirmed it was a bug. It wasn't meant to happen. Obviously, so, but yeah, a lot of insiders were surprised, and it's going to be fixed before it gets released to the public release channel. So yeah, Elon Musk was surprised when he realized a Tesla feature can spike CO2 levels, that's carbon dioxide. The recirculation feature in the Teslas uses the air already in the car to recirculate that air, and for purposes, and that spikes the carbon dioxide levels, which is dangerous to humans and the people driving it, the passengers. And Elon Musk was very surprised by that. So would I have been? If I was the guy that created this, I wouldn't. He's been receiving a lot of, bad stuff on the back of his Twitter deal. He got that employer that released the video of him in his autopilot to Tesla car that crashed. I kind of feel bad for the guy. So, so yeah, if you're a Tesla driver, just beware of that feature and see if there's something you can do about it. And in more Wwdc news, it has been leaked that there have been leaks, not by Apple, just rumors and leaks out there on the internet, that they will be releasing a 15-inch MacBook Air and a 12-inch MacBook Air, as well as a 14-inch iPad. So that would be pretty interesting and pretty weird. 12 inches is the really small. The standard size is around 14 inches for most computers, laptops. And 13 inches is a bit small for me, but then 12 inches is really, really small for a laptop. But I guess if you're on the go all the time, 12 inches could be what you need, and you want a MacBook? Apple's there for you. Apple's got you covered in every situation. They're trying to get every spectrum of every part of their market. And I think, alright, whatever. People are going to buy the 12-inch. People are going to buy the 12-inch. 15-inch, yeah, that's not too surprising. It was bound to happen at one point. And they just decided it was going to happen now. Remember, take these with a pinch of salt. We don't actually know these for sure. They're just rumors. Like everything on the internet as well, you got to take it with a pinch of salt. But that's all for today. Thank you for joining me today on the Random Access Show. And sorry about last week's missing episode. But if you like this, make sure to tune into our next episode. And make sure that you've checked out all our other episodes My name is Leon Monopolis, and you've tuned into the Random Access Show.